Yo! What up gamers, my name is Russ. Today we're going to be talking about my favorite build that I've been playing on Havoc so far in the pre-patch. I'm going to be breaking it all down, explaining all the talents and exactly how it works. It does rely a little bit on borrowed powers. I'll tell you exactly how to get it all set up and some good alternatives if you can't. Let's get into it. So here we are in the game. I'm just going to quickly go through the talents, talk about my gear and stats and stuff a little bit, legendary choice and whatnot. Then I'll give you a quick little rundown on how to play it. Try and keep this video short. I will also put up a video alongside this probably a couple of hours after I upload this one. So if you haven't seen that one, check the channel because it should be up. I did 48k overall in a gambit, which is pretty nice to be honest, carried by borrowed powers. But yeah, if you want to see the full key, kind of just like a stream rip, then I will upload it alongside this one. So let's jump straight into the talents then. I'm not going to ramble too much about every single talent because I have other videos where I do that. But I will talk about the base tree, specifically on the right hand side. We are going down to Sigil of Misery here, and then Misery in Defeat. What that's going to allow us to do is every 2 minutes we can put a Sigil of Misery down beneath like the pack of mobs in the Mythic Plus, and that's going to instantly it's going to fear them, and then it's going to instantly break. But when it breaks, it's going to put this 5-second debuff on them where they take 20% increased damage. So what that's going to do is amplify one of our big combos, most notably the Essence Break combo, because that is about a 5-second duration. You'll notice the 5 seconds is the same length of time as an initiative, so we can combo initiative, Essence Break and everything like that into this Sigil of Misery as it breaks. So it's basically going to just damage amp one of our big combos by 20%. Hopefully we'll have a Demon Soul up as well, which will amp it by another 20%. So we're kind of just stacking tons and tons of big cooldowns into these small burst windows every 40 seconds ish. Otherwise, on the left hand side, we're making sure that we go down here, get the hunt. I will put this build in the description, by the way, and picking up Collective Anguish, which is going to be really good with the legendary that we're running, which is Dark Glare. We're going to be playing Dark Glare Medallion with this. And obviously Unity. Now Covenant wise, I play Necrolord. It could kind of work with Venthyr, to be honest, but the whole kind of thing about this build, why I'm gonna just like coin it the random Russ build V2, like Gabler build V2 boys, is basically working around Necrolord, borrowed powers, and just attack damage steroids and amplifying everything on top of each other, on top of each other, on top of each other, and just getting these huge like multipliers to kind of make these. This is a pre-patch build, right? So it's going to make all these stupid abilities hit really hard. As you can see of my overall damage on this gambit, it was Vicious Wounds topping the entire key. So we're kind of buffing up all these broken things in the class with damage amps like Demon Soul and stuff. So jumping in to the other side of the tree then, we are going down to Rage Fire on the right hand side, but mostly down to Essence Break. Now the reason I like playing this build in particular is Essence Break is super satisfying to pull off. So that's one thing, it's really fun. Secondly, we're going to need to learn the Essence Break combo anyway, so I think a pre-patch is a good time to just learn the play style that we're going to be playing through Dragonflight anyway. You're almost always going to be taking Essence Break for most types of content. You know, the Mythic Plus builds in Dragonflight, we're going down to Any Means Necessary with Essence Break, and the raid build looks like we're going down to Shattered Destiny with Essence Break. So Essence Break is going to be quite involved in the rotation regardless, at least in most builds that I've seen. So it's good to learn that combo, and it's also good to learn Momentum right now in the pre-patch, because whether you like it or not, we're most likely going to be playing it a decent amount to at least stay competitive. Honestly, as I've said loads of times before, it's not that bad. It's more like a passive. You're incentivized to play around your movement and mobility and stuff anyway through initiative, using Venture Retreat on cooldown to not only get that 12% crit chance, but also the extra Fury coming in through the Venture Retreats. Plus, you got Unbound Chaos, so you're going to be using your Feral Rushes anyway. So what we're doing here is kind of focusing on the left-hand side, but the right-hand side just kind of passively buffs up Immolation Aura. So don't need to take Growing Inferno Conduit. I'll go through the Soul Winds and Conduits in just a second. But we are buffing up our Death Sweep, so that means we're going to be using Death Sweep on cooldown, as you do with pretty much every single build, I think, with Havoc these days. So really awesome that we can now use Death Sweep on cooldown all the time. We're buffing up, you know, our Immolation Aura, Growing Inferno, Burning Wound, and Rage Fire. It's just going to do a little bit extra damage, just kind of adds to everything. And it's quite sustainable, I guess. Down through the left side then, we are going with Improved Feral Rush, just to further buff up our Unbound Chaoses really. You won't really feel too Fury Starved with this build, but you could switch this point over here into Demonic Appetite if you do feel like you are Fury Starved. Personally, I don't. You could also put it down here so you have one in Blind Fury as well to make your I-beams a little bit longer. Very, very importantly, we are going with Looks Can Kill. Not only is that going to make our I-beam damage go absolutely crazy insane, but also, as I talked about, we are running the Cache of Acquired Treasures. As I said, this build does kind of rely on borrowed powers, kind of relies on Vein Rippers, kind of relies on Cache of Acquired Treasures. You can get all that stuff with the dinars now, the coins, with the Fated Rays being all of them open. It's actually, I think you can get it done all in like 1 or 2 weeks. You should hopefully have some by now. And then I'm also running a Hateful Chain. This trinket doesn't matter too much. It's just buffing up more damage that can kind of get amped up with all that percentage damage increase I talked about. As for the rest of the gear, we are stacking as much crit as we can really. My crit feels a little bit low at only 38% here, but it's not terrible. If you can get like 45% crit, that would be huge. And the reason that we're stacking so much crit is because of this talent down here, Know Your Enemy. Gaining crit strike damage equal to 100% of your crit strike chance. So if I have 45% crit, my crits are not only having a 45% chance to crit, but when they do, they're not just doing 200% flat damage, they're doing 245% flat damage, and that's adding even further with initiative. So that will be pushed up to 167%, 57%, sorry, 257% inside of our initiative windows as well. Plus, in Mythic Plus, we're going to be taking the crit buff from the infiltrators. So crit, tons and tons of crit scaling with this. Going to be making everything just hit harder and yeah, hit even harder. Hit harder when it crits and hit even harder when it does crit as well. So it's going to be really, really awesome. Another cool thing which buffs up your crit even further is because we're playing Necrolord now. I'll get into why we're playing Necrolord now. Firstly, it's because you can take this conduit here called Brooding Pool. I mentioned it in my last video, but what this is going to do, the tooltip is incorrect. It does not increase your Demon Soul by 1.5 seconds. It actually increases it by 20 seconds. So this one says 1.5, but when you get the buff, at least at the max conduit 278, plus it's in one of these empowered slots or whatever, it's giving me a 35-second Demon Soul buff whenever I pick it up. So Fodder to the Flame in the talent tree, if you were to take that somehow, that gives 15 seconds uptime on Demon Soul. This one gives 35 seconds uptime on Demon Soul. So with Necrolord, you can actually keep super high uptimes on Demon Soul, which is just a flat 20% damage buff. And you can see in this key right here, don't know why that's doing that. Okay, here we go. My Demon Soul uptime through this entire key was 42%. So 42% of the time I had 20% increased damage on everything. So all my abilities, all of my borrowed powers like Vicious Wounds, my trinkets, you know, like my trinket, my my Sadistic Lee off my Vein Rippers, you know, my other trinket Hateful Rage. So you can see kind of the idea of this build is just taking all of these steroids to buff everything up to make it hit really hard and very consistently as well. Now the second reason I'm taking this Covenant or this Soul in particular is actually down here. Hyame's Arsenal Marrowed Gemstone. After landing 10 critical strikes, you gain 18% increased chance to critical strike for 10 seconds. May only occur once per 60 seconds. So as you can see, this is kind of like a mini initiative. Initiative is 12% crit for 5 seconds. This is 18% crit for 10 seconds, but every 60 seconds. So you can actually see that the uptime throughout this key, again, as well, was, where is it? Marrowed Gemstone, 18% uptime on 18% crit chance. So honestly, that's pretty good. Remember, it's not just increased crit chance, but it's also increased crit damage. So that's really, really nice with this. And you don't really need triple potency, to be honest. Like, you don't need Growing Inferno because we're already buffing up our Immolation Aura and Growing Inferno down this side. You don't need Dancing with Fate because we already have that in the talent tree. Serrated Glaive, honestly, you really don't need it. It's not that good. Adaptive Armor Fragment is kind of like an afterthought if you have no better options to get. So we just take Relentless Onslaught for those Chaos Strikes, and this build it does like insane boss damage anyway, like 20 to 25k in Mythic Plus bosses as well. And as you can see, the trash damage is crazy insane on the trash, and that is mostly because of timing up my I-beams with pulling the axe, and maybe a couple lucky Dark Glare procs. To be honest, I did get in this key. I'll upload this exact key where I got the 48k with like my commentary, live commentary. It was taken from stream, so I'm kind of talking through what I'm doing. I'll put that, as I said, alongside this video So check my channel and go give that video a like too. And this one, give this video a like too. This, I won't lie, this video was kind of fucking unhinged. I've been all over the place, but hopefully it made sense. This is just Soulbind. If you don't have Bonesmith Hymer because you didn't do the Necrolord campaign, that's fine. Just use Plague Device and Merilef with these conduits right here. You definitely need Brooding Pool. You can take Serrated Glaive instead of the Marrow Rend Stones and the Relentless Onslaught down here, and then just take Kevin's Oozling. Honestly, Kevin's Oozling is pretty okay. And when you Fleshcraft, you get a weak aura for Fleshcraft, because when you Fleshcraft, if you keep the buff up, you'll gain Mastery down here with Volatile Solvent. So you'll get Mastery, like 130 Mastery or something every time you Fleshcraft for like 2 minutes. So it's 100% uptime on that buff. So you can get like 100% Mastery. Could be cool as well with a Throwblade for Bombardier build. As I said, I'll put these talents down in the description. But yeah, my advice, get really good with the Essence Break window. Get good at keeping up momentum uptime. It's not the absolute be all end all with momentum uptime. As you can see in this key again, I only had like 63%, which isn't crazy. I wasn't really playing around it. It was kind of like I was doing all my other stuff, focusing on getting my big damage burst windows out. And then momentum, you know, if I had 2 charges of Fel Rush, I hit momentum. Like I hit 1 Fel Rush and I just keep off 2 charges. That's pretty much all I do. I just stay off 2 charges of Fel Rush, and it kind of keeps momentum up that way. So that's the build, that's the video. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for 5k subs. It's been really awesome. I might do like a little Q&A coming up in the future. I'll see you in the next one. Take care, have a great evening or day, and peace.